We are in the middle of a widespread behavioral crisis. Across the country, pet owners are reporting surging rates of dogs lunging at strangers, shredding furniture, and experiencing severe panic attacks the moment they are left alone. When a pet destroys a living room or snaps at a guest, we often assume the animal is acting out of spite, jealousy, or calculated annoyance. We project our own complex human social grievances onto their actions. Look at the slobbery Tess. We interpret dog licking as pure affection, but the biology tells a different story. In adult dogs, excessive licking of objects or people triggers a release of endorphins in their brain. It is often a self-soothing mechanism used to cope with chronic anxiety. This projection is built into their very bones. Breed standards for the Persian cat and the Pekingese dog both explicitly demand a vertical plane, where the forehead, nose, and chin are in perfect alignment. By selecting for these specific baby-faced traits, we engineered animals to fit a human aesthetic template, regardless of the impact on their health. We prioritized this human-like facial structure for our own visual comfort. In the process, we became blinded to what these animals were actually experiencing behind those flattened faces. By forcing dogs and cats into human aesthetic molds and emotional frameworks, we have lost the ability to read their actual biological language. We are now routinely punishing animals for signals that are actually cries for help. Before human intervention, a canine's internal state was broadcast through a clear system of physical markers. A relaxed gray wolf displays soft almond-shaped eyes, a loose ear carriage, and a neutral tail, signals easily read by the pack. But human preference for baby-like features forced an anatomical convergence. By selecting for shortened snouts and shallow eye orbits, we created the brachycephalic look, a physical mutation appearing in both modern pugs and Persian cats. These traits mimic the body language of terror. Because a pug's eye sockets are so shallow, their eyes appear permanently wide and bulging. In the canine world, this is known as whale eye, a universal signal for panic or impending aggression, even when the pug is fully relaxed. We also altered ears and tails to the point of constant miscommunication. A German Shepherd's ears are bred to be naturally erect and forward-pointing, a posture that other dogs read as a state of constant offensive arousal. Northern breeds face the same issue with their tails. A husky's tail naturally rests in a high, tight curl over its back. To another dog, that rigid, high tail carriage is the primary signal for canine aggression, sending a threat signal by accident every time the husky walks into a park. Because we mutated their physical tools for our own visual appeal, these animals are trapped in bodies that broadcast false emotional signals. They are effectively speaking a language of threat and panic that they don't actually feel. Data from 50,000 inquiries shows while owners report aggression, true aggression is rare. Dogs actually suffer from reactivity. This isn't intent to harm, but a frantic attempt at emotional regulation when overwhelmed by fear or environmental stress. Even the behaviors we find cute have distinct biological functions. When a dog tilts its head, we assume they are trying to be adorable or are confused by our words, but it is actually a precise physical adjustment. Dogs tilt their heads to calculate the exact direction of high-frequency sounds. For dogs with prominent muzzles, the tilt shifts their snout out of their visual field, allowing them to better read human facial expressions. We see the same disconnect with digging.
A terrier isn't ruining a yard of spite. They are following a hunting instinct to flush out underground prey. A husky digging a hole is often just trying to expose cooler soil to regulate their body temperature. What we diagnose as bad behavior or malicious disobedience is almost always an animal trying to process its environment, manage its anxiety, or fulfill an instinctual need that we have blocked. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior has issued a standard that rejects traditional force-based corrections. There is no scientific evidence to support alpha dominance theories or the use of pain to correct an animal's behavior. Punishing an animal for fear-based reactivity or instinctual digging is ineffective because it only suppresses the physical symptom. It does nothing to address the underlying neurological stress, which often makes the behavior worse over time.
The evidence-based solution is a technique called differential reinforcement of an incompatible behavior. It focuses on teaching the animal a new, quiet behavior that is physically impossible to do at the same time as the unwanted one. Instead of shouting at a dog for barking at the window, you reward them for going to a designated mat and staying quiet. You aren't just stopping the bark, you are actively rewiring the dog's brain to choose a calm alternative. By combining this with systematic desensitization, gradually exposing the animal to their triggers at a distance, we can actually change their internal emotional response. We solve the problem by addressing the root of the anxiety. True companionship isn't about forcing an animal to act like a human. It's about having the discipline to learn their true language and the empathy to respect their biological reality.